incorporate into the plans the government has and now feeds into the budget process. And then during implementation, there should be more participation where people get to see what is actually happening with the budgets. Where is the money being spent? How much is being spent? What's the progress in spending? Same case to oversight. That way the process would be more efficient and more enhanced.
One word, what areas? Because you can see from the feed there is that the CS has already made his way. Just one parting shot, what areas would you prioritize if you were Ndung'u in his position at the moment?
Low-hanging fruit, efficiency.
Efficiency.
With the resources that we have, improve the efficiency. Disbursement, absorption, non-financial indicators. We give you 1 billion to go implement activity 1, 2, 3. Let's see those activities being implemented. If you look at the sector working reports, some sectors have absorbed 90% of the budget, but the key non-financial indicators are at 30% implementation. Where did the money go? Efficiency.
Efficiency. That puts a cap on our discussion in studio. We have been speaking to none other than Ruth Kendagoro, who is the head of research at the Institute of Public Finance. And in her parting shot is efficiency. As you can see there, the two men of the moment, we're talking about Kiharu, Member of Parliament there, who is the chair of the Budget Committee, that is Ndidi Nyoro, welcoming Professor Ndung'u there, and Chris Kipto. That is the welcome there by various members of Parliament. Where we are right now, other than the presentation of the budget, it will be left to be seen what the legislators have to say about that particular draft budget. As legislators, they're the ones who are charged with making the laws that inform governance. And now more than ever, eyes will shift from Professor Ndung'u, who is going to be presenting the proposal of Treasury, and it will be handed to them whether they'll make amendments or take the proposed budget as it is. I'm Regina Manyora. I want to hand you over to the team that is in Parliament buildings with our very own Edward Kabasa taking up the rest of this particular budget 2024 coverage. Over to you, Edward.
Yes.
A small school called Kiabugi.
Cabinet Secretary will leave the consultation room to the public servants bench in the National Assembly chamber. The Speaker of the National Assembly will invite the Cabinet Secretary for National Treasury and Economic Planning to deliver the budget highlights and revenue-raising measures for the financial year 2024-2025. And thereafter, the Speaker of the National Assembly will adjourn the National Assembly to Tuesday, 18th of June 2024 at 2:30 p.m. The Speaker's procession will leave the National Assembly thereafter. Now, the Cabinet Secretary for National Treasury and Economic Planning will take his leave and will be escorted to the consultation room, where members and guests will proceed to the Parliament courtyard for the reception. Now, the Cabinet Secretary for National Treasury and Economic Planning is scheduled to make the pronouncement on the budget highlights and revenue sharing measures for the national government for the financial year 2024-2025 today, being Thursday, the 13th of June 2024. This marks the 14th budget day since the promulgation of the current constitution and the second in the 13th Parliament. The presentation of the budget highlights and revenue-raising measures for the national government by the Cabinet Secretary for the National Treasury and Economic Planning, done with the approval of the Cabinet and commonly known as the budget speech, is in fulfillment of the requirements of Section 40, subsection 1 of the Public Finance Management Act 2012 and the National Assembly Standing Orders 244C Part 1. If you just